Just wanted to talk through these notes titled HTML Documents Describe Web Pages. I've put these notes together on a web app called CodePen, which we'll be using a lot throughout the semester. So if you haven't already, make sure you get yourself an account. You'll need to provide a username, an email, and a password. And it's a place where you can store all of your code snippets and experiments with HTML. CodePen allows us to write our HTML, as you can see on the left there, and render that HTML or simulate that rendering of HTML all in the one authoring space. So it's really, really handy. Anyway, back to the notes. What is HTML? Well, HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and it is the language of the internet. It's what the internet is made up of entirely. A HTML document is essentially a plain text document, so a raw text document just with the file extension HTML and nothing more. And the internet is made up of millions and millions of these HTML text documents, all linked together. HTML is made up of, or it's written using what we call tags, and a tag is like a title encased in angle brackets. To write HTML, given that it's plain text, you need nothing more than a text editor and a web browser like Chrome to view your rendered code in. And that's what a web browser does. It renders the HTML and brings it to life for our audience. So as I said, HTML is written in tags. And tags kind of describe HTML elements, so kind of chunks of HTML. A HTML element consists of an opening and a closing tag. For example, here I've got the body tag, and we can see the opening of the body tag and the closing of the body tag. So the opening tag is like a title enclosed in these angle brackets, and the closing tag has this extra little backslash in it. So those two tags, an opening tag and a closing tag, make up what we call HTML elements. And these are kind of the components of the internet. And we can see in this little diagram here how one element might be written. Now this is an element for a paragraph in a HTML page. So we write a paragraph with a P inside our angle brackets, and we call the P is our element name, so our element is the paragraph. This is our opening tag, and in between the two tags we have the actual content. And that content is tagged by the element name, the opening tag and the closing tag. So the difference between an opening tag and a closing tag is this /. Now we've got a bunch of different types of elements that we can use inside our HTML. The main one is the HTML element itself. And all of our HTML the whole HTML element will be enclosed within HTML tag. We've got head tags and title tags, which are right at the top of our HTML documents, and they include information that isn't rendered in the browser, so kind of metadata, titles, and so forth. Paragraphs, which we've had a look at already, are used extensively on the internet, of course. Headings as well. These are kind of our main typographic elements. We use lists a lot for kind of bullet points and numbering material. Links are very important, or what we call anchor tags, which essentially make up the internet. It is all of those links between the HTML tags that create that web that we use and navigate through across the internet. Images, which we've looked at earlier on today, the different types of images are brought in or rendered into a HTML page using the image tag. Tables allow us to arrange content in kind of spreadsheet manner. Comments are another element that are like hidden messages between developers. And then finally, there's the span and the div elements, which are kind of like grouping elements. They allow us to group other elements together and nest other elements within the span or the div. So they are the main elements that we'll be looking at least today, and they are the main elements that make up the whole of the internet. And just to finish up on, we can see that in this anatomy of an element, a HTML element, we have an opening tag and a closing tag, which encase our content. And I think right about now it's probably time to get into writing some of our own HTML